his position. In a statement released from the Communications Directorate of the Presidency, Mr. Ejiaku's relief from his position is with immediate effect.
Now, according to the statement, Mr. Ejiaku has been directed to hand over his office to the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, John Peter Amewu, who will act until a substantive appointment is made. Though no reasons have been attributed for the decision by the President, there have been indications that the controversy over the renegotiated Ameri deal had caused the considerable embarrassment to the President, with insiders claiming he had been misled by Boakye Ejiaku.
Right now, before we delve much more into this, let's take the release that just came from the presidency. The President of the Republic, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, has by letter dated 6th August 2018 relieved the Minister for Energy, Mr. Boakye Ejiaku, of his position with immediate effect. President Akufo-Addo has asked Mr. Boakye Ejiaku to hand over his office to the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Mr. John Peter Amewu, who will act temporarily as Minister for Energy until a substantive appointment is made. Now, the President wishes Mr. Boakye Ejiaku well in his future endeavors, and it is signed from the Director of Communications, Eugene Ahen. Right, and I've been joined in the studio by my colleague, Sixtus Don Ulo, to delve much more into this. Thank you very much for your time, Sixtus.
Welcome, Freeman.
Well, so this is where we are. The Minister of Energy has been relieved of his duties. Are you surprised?
Not really. If you observed the terrain from the latter part of last week, this, if you like, would be the possible or likely outcome that would have been expected, because when the Ameri deal started, the novation agreement was laid before Parliament on the night of the Thursday 2 weeks ago. There was a lot of controversy. The minority which originally negotiated this particular deal did not take kindly to it. And if you look at all the back and forth that we have seen from that Thursday up to the end of last week, then this probably would have been the best outcome. Coupled with the agitations that were, if you like, championed by the Senior Staff Association of the VRA today. They held the press conference at which they expressed so much anger at why the minister was still at post. And they actually gave two options. They gave the minister the opportunity to resign. They asked that either he resigns voluntarily or the president fired him. Well, I guess he didn't go voluntarily, so the president had to fire him. But really, we are not surprised.
Well, but did it really call for a dismissal or his sack? I mean, couldn't we have withdrawn and then go back to the drawing board and do more discussions on this? Did he really have to go?
He had to. If you had followed this particular story from the very onset, from when the NPP was then in opposition, when this particular deal was signed by the then majority government of the day, NDC, the party raised serious concerns with this particular deal. The NPP at the time raised serious concerns with the deal. They said the deal had been overpriced by some $150 million. And so you are surprised that a party that raised such objections to the original deal would come back, try to relay an amendment to this particular agreement that seeks to even siphon more from the state, as we have heard from all the analysts that we have spoken to on this matter. ASEP didn't take kindly to the novation agreement. ASEP actually thought that this was not what the campaign was for, when a lot of people joined the NPP in their campaign during the election period, campaigning against this particular deal. A lot of people thought that no, the NPP has actually done directly opposite to what it had campaigned against. Also recall that when they came into power and the new parliament was convened, K.T. Hammond, who was a member of the Committee of Mines and Energy at the time that, sat on this particular agreement, also went back to Parliament, this particular Parliament, and told the Parliament that the Fifth Parliament made a terrible mistake amending or agreeing to this particular deal, and so he wanted something to be done about this. Indeed, he called for a rescission of the deal. That argument is still there. And so, yes, if you go beyond that and you look at also the embarrassment that has been caused the presidency, not just the person of the president, but the presidency in this particular deal, then you will see that, yes, the minister had to go.
Now, you know, can we conclude that the energy minister misled all of us, because it appears figures came in when we didn't really know where they were coming from?
We're all misled, yes. Was it just the energy minister? That's a question we have to find serious answers to. Because if we look at how the system works, the architecture of drafting, policy drafting, some of these agreements, how they come about, you realize that it's not just a one-man business. So yes, going by the principle of ultimate responsibility, it's on the minister, the sector minister. He is the one supposed to have supervised a deal, a good deal.
Absolutely.
He's the one supposed to have advised the president on whether or not to accept the innovation agreement, whether or not to even initiate that particular process in the first place. So yes, ultimately the minister should be held responsible. But was it just the minister? That is why you hear some other people saying that no, we should go beyond the sector minister. There are other people in the drafting process. There are other people in the consultation process that led to this particular deal that we saw. And so the sector minister going, yes, it's a good step, at least if for nothing at all, to save the face of the presidency. But would that, you know,
more work needs to be done from the ministry?
Would that pacify the aggrieved persons in this particular matter? I don't think so. Because if you look at the processes that the program, the deal went through up to this particular point, I think that a lot more people should still be worried.
Right, so we have the VRA in the studio, and we'll be hearing from them very soon, you know, what their call has been. But then I'm also looking at the Ameri deal still stands, and we'll be waiting for who will be coming and what will happen to the deal next.
Indeed, one thing they have said is whoever takes over from the Honorable Boakye Agyarko should be, let me use the word cooperative advisedly. They want somebody who would sit down with the stakeholders, somebody who is amenable to reason with the stakeholders, so that you don't just take a decision and rush to implementation. Now, these are insiders making their comments. We cannot tell whether exactly that is how Agyarko was running the ministry. We can't tell. But these are the people coming out of the sector to tell us these things. So whoever is taking over definitely would have to do a lot more.
Sixtus, thank you very much for your time.
Welcome.
Right, so we go back to the release coming from the presidency, where the President of the Republic, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, has by letter dated 6th August 2018 relieved the Minister for Energy, Mr. Boakye Agyarko, of his position with immediate effect. President Akufo-Addo has asked Mr. Boakye Agyarko to hand over his office to the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Mr. John Peter Amewu, who will act temporarily as Minister for Energy until a substantive appointment is made. The President wishes Mr. Boakye Agyarko well in his future endeavors. Right, so we've been joined by VRA senior staff right here. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
So, with what you put out earlier today, calling for the head of the Energy Minister, and what we are receiving now, how do you take this information?
Well, we take it as a good news, and we thank the President for taking a decisive decision at the right time.
Right, you mentioned that you were not consulted, or the Energy Minister was not taking experts' advice. What were you telling him that he wasn't listening to you?
You know, this Ameri deal has been on for some years now, and in 2015-2016 it was a hue and cry of this country. Policy think tanks advised that, look, this deal is not a good deal. But well, our parliament went into it, we signed on to it. We've done 2.5 years. We've left with 2.5 years more to go. And coming and renegotiating this deal, several advices were given to him, committees were formed, all the committees pointed to the fact that, look, if you are not bringing the cost down, it doesn't worth renegotiating this deal. But he refuses. He went ahead to submit to Parliament. Most people who were involved in this business were not consulted.
Like who and who and who? VRA and who?
VRA, senior staff, there are other stakeholders in this business, right? Ministry of Finance, Attorney General, and all those people. Everyone go there. The VRA specifically was not consulted fully. So, that is the result. because VRA has been in this business for close to 60 years. We really understand. We have all the expertise. When it comes to the financial aspect, the technical aspect, we will give you the right advice. So that is good for this country.
Right. So what is the advice? What exactly do you think the merit should all entail?
You know, this deal initially was 510 million. And we are saying that, look, we've done all the analysis. Anything that you do, which is not bringing the 510 down, that's not worth doing it. Do you know that do nothing is another option? Yes. So the advice is that, look, it's better we allow the 2.5 years to run through, and then we run the capacity charges to 0. So basically, the tariff, which is 14.5, will drop to about 10.7. And it will be a great relief to Ghanaians. But when you try to renegotiate it to a longer term, 15 years, you eventually end up paying close to 470 million cedis free to somebody.
Right, but looking at the time and monies involved and the country's capacity, what we can do, our abilities in servicing these debts and all, do you think, or don't you think that the minister had a point? Perhaps so we don't pay so much within a very short time and that it could spread.
We do not have a point. We've done 2.5 years already. So that one you have to pay. We are left with 2.5 years. For example, you are carrying a load of 14.5 kilograms. And you are left with 2.5 kilometers to finish. And then somebody comes that, no, I will give you 11.5 so that you carry for the next 15 kilometers. Which one would you go for? So we think that it has never been a good deal. Because if all policy think tanks in this country said that, look, the deal was bloated for about $150 million, and we say we are going to renegotiate it, at the end of the day, we expect to have a value for money for this country. We expect the leverage tariff to drop. But at the end of the day, if it's not coming, because PRC tariff given in the year 2015 for this American deal, the first 5 years will run the 14.5. But this year, 2018, tariffs were reduced by 30%. So that 14.5 automatically dropped to 12. Meaning that we have 12 point something to carry to the end of the 2.5 years. Then we will drop to 10, which will be a benefit for all Ghanaians in the country, and will save us money. If we are coming to renegotiate that tariff to 11.7 for the next 15 years, why should you continue to pay capacity charges after 5 years? It does not make business sense. It's not good. Economically, it's not good. It's even going to put more burden on the flagship institution like VRA to continue paying capacity charges for no additional power addition to the system. So we think that is not the best deal to go for. That's why we put all the information out there, all the data, because at the end of the 15 years, we are going to pay about 1.1 billion US dollars instead of 510, twice the cost, the same capacity. So is it a good deal? We rather, at the end of the day, the purported 405 million the minister said we were going to get, it's never true. At the end of the 15 years, we'll end up paying 467 million more.
All right, so, Mr. Ahia, thank you very much for your time. Right, so we've been talking to Vice Chair, VRA Senior Staff Association, Theophilus Tete Ahia. Right, so the Minister of Energy, Boakye Jacko, has been relieved of his duty. This is coming from the presidency. So let's take a look at the journey so far for Mr. Boakye Jacko, how it all began for him. Right, so we do sincerely apologize for the loss in sound. You're still watching Citi Newsroom live on Citi TV. We have more news coming up. Don't go away.
Spice up your mornings with culturally enriched conversations, social interviews, and policy-oriented discussions that will keep you updated on the progress of the nation.
Because we're giving only those in their third trimester. So in the next 3 months, those in their second would be ready to receive the kits. And we're taking data at registration, which is before they take the kits, at delivery and post-delivery, so that we can analyze and we'll see the numbers. So from the numbers and the data that we're collecting, we would know what has worked, what hasn't worked, you know.
Join the Breakfast Daily team Monday through Fridays from 7:30 a.m. to 10. Let your voice be heard with the hashtag Breakfast Daily. Join us for breakfast daily, only on Citi TV.
For regular news checks as they unfold, 2020 news all day, all the time. Politics, sports, entertainment, business, and more. 2020 news. We bring you the world in 20 minutes.
And that's all the news in 20 minutes.
Tune in to The Point of View, Mondays and Wednesdays at 9 p.m. as Bernard Avlet takes the news further. He will bring the right guests, ask them the relevant questions, and get you the real insights you need on the big stories for the day. The Point of View with Bernard Avlet, Monday and Wednesday nights, only on Citi TV.
You're welcome back. You're still watching the Citi Newsroom on Citi TV. Let's take you to the Ashanti region now. And majority of shops belonging to Nigerian retailers at the Swami Magazine in Kumasi still remain locked, even after an intervention by the Ashanti Regional Police Commander. Now, CAM has since returned to the area after local retailers and spare part dealers at the enclave forced their Nigerian counterparts to lock up their shops. Now, some of the locals who spoke to Citi Newsroom have vowed not to allow the Nigerians return to the market.
Local retailers and spare parts dealers at Swami Magazine in Kumasi have maintained their stance of not allowing their foreign counterparts to operate within the enclave. The development comes after the Ashanti Regional Police Command intervened to broker peace between the locals and foreigners. A visit to the enclave revealed that shops belonging to the Nigerians remain locked. Although CAM has returned to the area, majority of the Nigerian traders are not comfortable trading at the enclave despite assurances from the police. Some of the locals have maintained that they will not allow the Nigerians to operate.
It has taken care of a lot. Magazine do not belong to Nigerians. Magazine do not belong to Chinese. We are speaking for our own nation. No Nigerian, no Chinese, no Lebanese has the right to involve in local trade. That is what we are speaking for. That is what we are standing for. I have said it over and over, sir. Now, so much one person. I tell you, my friends are troublesome. Me say I let you go to bribe. Now Ghana police have a permit. I'm gonna be in the store. I tell you, sir, the embassy. That is the very reason why.
A lot of foreign town. I said foreigners. Yeah, a lot of foreign. That's right. The Poma Sam. Almost a pro. Yes, you're for 40. Then I just see a palm. Now, the magazine and near Brenner say, Probia Brown. And Champagne for the Rana, only by a hobby. Sir, a bassa, Yakov Famran was a bape. Now, Omo, I did this cana, oh my, some of Bassa. Assembly in Anase, and Mra Hanese, and you can say, foreigner, a baby store, no yet, or eating Marco, over to my, maybe 35 years in it. Na my friend be a store or magazine ha. Omo betu ma ye ne a na ye tuaka. Na omo ko. After omo say adwuma no ekoso no. De oba ne say oba no be store baako.
A shop owner, Alhaji Adamu Mahmoud, tells Citi Newsroom he was nearly attacked by some rampaging locals who insisted that he was a Nigerian.
Last week, some youth of magazine boys came here. They were attacking me that this shop is like I'm an Igbo man, so they want to lock the shop. I didn't allow them to lock the shop, honestly. I'm into this business for over 30 years. I started that as a fitting. I was here, I think, that is 7 years now in magazine. Okay. I used to go to Lagos to buy the goods myself. But I think of late, they are supplying the goods here. So I don't travel anymore. Maybe I'm dealing with them, that's why they think I'm a woman. I don't know whether they look at my color or what.
Reporting from the Swami magazine in Kumasi, my name is Hafiz Tijani for Citi News.
Let's stay with the story because earlier, my colleague Frima Idunyami caught up with the National Welfare Officer of the Ghana Union of Traders Association, Benjamin Yeboah, concerning their meeting with President Akufo-Addo today.
Luckily for us, our friends from our executive from Kumasi were here. Okay. Also joined us. And what happened was that when there was so much agitation there, some of these Nigerians decided to close their shops for fear of anything. And rightly so. Yes, so shops there were closed. Basically, what is closed now are basically those who were afraid and they closed. So we've spoken to our members strongly that they should allow them to open. The law would work. We have an ECOWAS treaty. If they've not read it, they should go and read what the treaty says. The treaty does not give you the chance to come and settle and sell. It says free movements, goods and services. It doesn't say settle there. You have 90 days or 3 months to do what you have to do and go back. If you decide to settle, then you go by what the laws of that land says. If I go to Nigeria and I decide to work there, now Buhari says I've signed into law that any work that a Nigerian can do, he or she should be considered first before you, the foreigner. What is my status there? Am I a Nigerian there? If I go to Nigeria, I'm not a Nigerian. If you're a Nigerian, you come to Ghana, you are not a Ghanaian. You see, we should understand these simple, basic rules. I mean, so you go by it. If you know you can't open up a place and sit and sell, better, like what they used to do in the 80s. You give the goods to the Ghanaian to sell, you take your money, you go back. We are not asking no one to come and trade. It's ECOWAS, come and trade like we also trade. That is it. If you can't, please, Boko, you go back. So what exactly does the GIPC law, the Act 2000-3865, what exactly does it say? See, it just spells out what our investment laws are. Yeah. So when you come into Ghana and you want to settle and do business, we don't want quack investors. Yes. Investor who comes to open a shop in, let's say, Kaneshi, Aboso Kai, or any of the markets, and employ some 2 boys or 3 girls, and see that says, I'm investing in Ghana. Is that the investment we are looking at? No. So the law states that if you are an investor, with your sort, you come into Ghana, you register with both the GIPC and the Registrar General. Yeah. GIPC will state categorically what you are supposed to do, how much you are supposed to put in. If you are a wholly foreign entity, you are supposed to put in $1 million. Yeah. Why? Because we want you to invest your money. We need your money, not just your presence. Yeah. So you invest. And then you make sure that you employ Ghanaians, because you want to generate employment for Ghanaians. About 20 of them, some scaled. And then we show you where you should place your business, because a $1 million business is a big entity. It can't fit into Abosokai in that small shop. So we tell you where you should fit in. If you feel you can't go by this, very simple, offload the goods to the Ghanaian, take your money and go back.
As part of today's meeting, and you are assuring us that we are not going to be having this kind of unrest in the Ashanti region anymore. Can we hold you by that?
Hold the authorities by that. If things are working the way it should work, then you don't expect any fallouts. No.
You are their leader. They listen to you better.
That is why we said if they had spoken to us, I mean, the authorities have spoken to us, would have known how to go back. That was not that.
But they are talking to you now.
So that now, see, now we go back and do damage control and tell them, look, now the committee has even met immediately after the president met us, and this is what they are doing. So relax, things will move the way we want it to move. Give us some time and let's see the action on ground.
The Ministry of Foreign Affairs is collaborating with the Nigerian embassy in Russia to bring home some 32 Ghanaian football lovers who traveled to watch the 2018 FIFA World Cup but have been left stranded in the capital, Moscow. In a Citi News interview, the Deputy Minister for Foreign Affairs, Charles Oredu, said his office was alerted by the Russian authorities of the development. He explained that spaces were secured on a Nigerian chartered flight to evacuate the stranded persons. The Deputy Minister disclosed that 20 of the Ghanaians are currently in Abuja, awaiting a connecting flight back home.
So, luckily for us, we had a very good cooperation with the Nigerian ambassador in Moscow. You know, Nigeria was in the World Cup, so they had chartered a flight for their supporters to be sent back to Nigeria. We agreed that they could get us some space on their aircraft, so they got us 20. So out of the 32, 20 of these stranded supporters got on this Nigerian flight to Lagos. As we speak now, I'm aware that our mission in Abuja had made plans, for these 20 to be brought back to Accra. Now, the rest being 12, 4 of them had to procure their own tickets. So they should be in Ghana by now. So the outstanding number is 8. Who are being kept in a hostel. We are making plans to get them out of Moscow as quickly as possible.
Now, about 300 contract staff of the National Identification Authority who were engaged for the Ghana Card Special Registration exercise have threatened to lay down their tools over the non-payment of their allowances. According to them, the allowances have not been paid for close to 3 months. Citi Newsroom's Philip Nilati has the details.
Activities at the Regional Police Office, Police Headquarters, Headquarters of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Controller and Accountants General's Department, Michelle Camp, and Naval Base, Tema, will soon come to a halt. The angry workers say all attempts made to get their over 2 months allowances paid have not been successful. Some of the frustrated workers spoke to Citi News.
They gave us the appointment letters and then now they haven't even paid, or I don't know what they are doing. They are not paying yet.
Right now, we want the authorities to understand that we are in a situation that they should come in, at least if there is a communication to us. That's what we want. We want that communication. It's lacking, and it's a problem. So what we want the authorities to do is to tell us what is really happening, what's blocking our money.
It's really affecting me because some of us have children, we have families, some have husbands. So how long will you continue taking money from your husband? And at the month, you don't bring anything home. So it's really affecting us in so many ways.
Honestly, as an individual and a married man, it's a very, very great challenge for me. As of now, my gas is finished, light bill, my rent. My landlord has even summoned me to the palace that I have not paid rent. All because I know I'm working with NIA. Anytime they ask me, I say, I'll give you. I'm expecting money. But when you come to NIA and ask them, they tell you next week. Next week is their slogan. And I think I'm tired of it. And I can't work again. I can't work with them. I can't work. Because you cannot leave home with your bag and inform your wife, oh, I'm going to work and come. Meanwhile, when you come, you are starving. So what shows that you are working? And not even shows that you went to work.
Meanwhile, the Executive Secretary of the National Identification Authority, Professor Kenneth Atefua, who described the workers' action as rude and indecent, said the situation is as a result of the workers' inability to provide timely data for payment.
No one has brought any such concerns to my attention. And I think it is unfair, it is rude, it is inappropriate, it is indecent. So I don't welcome it. Only some of them, 403 of them, have submitted their letters. Only some of them have provided their bank account details. I called the lady processing the payroll, and you heard her say that the information provided by many of them are riddled with inaccuracies. Inaccuracies by way of wrong bank account numbers, wrong names of account holders, and in some instances, individuals providing the account details of relatives and friends and asking that payments be made. Surely, I have directed that payments be not made into the accounts of relatives and friends. I have, however, directed this morning that all those individuals whose details are complete, i.e., those who have submitted their completed contract form, that is, they have signed the contract acceptance letter, they have also provided the bank account details, and their daily attendance record sheets have been signed, that they should be paid forthwith. I've directed my head of finance to ensure that the appropriate steps are taken today, by close of day today, to ensure that all those persons are paid.
The workers say several calls made on authorities to get them paid has proven futile. According to them, NIA authorities keep postponing the payment date, and this is having a toll on their lives. For Citi News, Philip Ni Latte.
You're still watching Citi Newsroom live on Citi TV. My name is Freme Duname.
And I am Pearl Akanyo. We'll be back with more stories.
Tune in to The Point of View, Mondays and Wednesdays at 9 p.m. as Bernard Avlet takes the news further. He will bring the right guests, ask them the relevant questions, and get you the real insights you need on the big stories for the day. The Point of View with Bernard Avlet, Monday and Wednesday nights, only on Citi TV.
It's engaging, detailed, and loaded with factual and incisive analysis. It's The Big Issue, your preferred Saturday morning news and current affairs analysis program on Citi TV. Tune in this and every Saturday at 9 a.m. and hear the newsmakers discuss the top issues for the week.
At that time, Charlotte was complete. I'm not defending Charlotte. I'm talking about the way we behave like hypocrites and ostriches in this country. At that time, she was a perfect person.
It's The Big Issue with Stella Madonu on Citi TV. This and every Saturday at 9 a.m.
Wherever the weekend sporting action happened, we will bring it to you here on Scorecard. Every goal, every dunk, every punch, the winning strides, and the winning volleys.
Come, international media. He said, look, wait, sit and wait. Let me have a meal with my people. And I think that's the same cool, it's the same organization he brings to the field every time I've seen him play. He looks to me like somebody who has played over 50 caps already. Okay. But this guy has barely played over 25 caps for the national team.
All of the weekend's action in one place. Scorecard, every Sunday at 7:30 p.m. prompt on Citi TV.